Now to the incredible story of the three battlers who hit the lotto jackpot only to see it ruin their lives. 2 years ago, the knockabout mates couldn't believe their luck when they won $13 million in Oz Lotto. But instead of sharing the spoils, would you believe it, they're off to court to fight over the fortune.
All over the world, lotto wins are causing problems.
Money changes things, especially large amounts of money.
Unless there's hard evidence before the event, then there's ultimately going to be a dispute.
It's a conversation most of us have had. What would you do if you won the lotto? It's a dream we often share with friends. Sometimes we even plan to share the winnings. But this is a cautionary tale. When the millions do come rolling in, it's often mates who find they're anything but.
Usually the money wins out.
They were three mates. Eugene Taperi, Gary Garlick and Brett Pretty got together for an impromptu lotto party. They bought a ticket and, against all the odds, won First Division. It was $13 million.
My belief is that it's three good mates, or apparently good mates, who were having a few drinks, very loose arrangements made. There's no evidence about it, and then once the money comes through, they really jumped all over the shop.
A loose agreement became a disagreement. Now the lucky trio are locked in a bitter court battle over the spoils of the win they thought would set them up for life.
So the old day we used to shake hands with a mate, a nod and a wink used to be gold, but these days, of course, especially when so much money's involved, it just tends to go by the way.
Barrister Michael Barco says until they sort this out, the bulk of their jumbo payout will be frozen.
Well, the safest way to deal with monies in dispute is to have them deposited into the court's registry.
Brett Pretty is being sued by his two friends who say he kept the lion's share for himself. Because they all went in on the ticket together, Eugene Taperi and Gary Garlick claim they're entitled to 1/3 each, or about $3.5 million. But that's not the only option. Alternatively, they're asking to be paid according to how much they chipped in for the ticket. On that basis, Mr Taperi would get about $7 million and the other two would get close to $3 million each. We invited the men to give their sides of the story, but all said no on advice from their lawyers.
My legal advice is don't seek legal advice. Shake hands and work it out amongst yourselves.
Solicitor Michael Kazilny says if the squabbling continues, there'll soon be no cash left to share.
These court cases can take up to 5 years and cost millions to resolve. So it's a real shame that a lot of that money is wasted on wasted legal fees.
Initially, it's just a pipe dream. It's a wishful thinking. It's something, oh, wouldn't it be great if I had that money? Once it's real, it changes everything. And I think the three guys are just a proof positive of how much it does change when money comes in, especially large amounts of money.
Psychologist Dr. Dina Goodman says, though he might not consider it, lotto feuds actually have a lot in common with divorce.
Absolutely. I see it all the time in marriage breakdown, especially if a couple have been together through the struggling years and one of the partners or both partners become successful and then the marriage breaks up. Then all of a sudden, things get very ugly.
All three men are still living modest lives, and it's a lesson for lottery lovers everywhere.
The rules of the game should be set.
It all boils down to a very simple piece of paper, a couple of signatures, and we wouldn't be talking about this particular dispute.
This emphasizes the importance of written agreements about anything.
Photocopy the ticket, which we all know have now barcodes on them, and then having your friend or friends sign the photocopy, acknowledging the proportion of the input or the share.
Ugly stuff. Nick Etchell's reporting there, and that case will begin in Victoria's Supreme Court on April 19.